Welcome to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds and sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. I am truly glad you're here. And let me just say to you, Happy New Year. It's January 1st, 2024. This is live stream number 143. And here we are again. We weren't here last week because it was Christmas. I guess it was Christmas Day. Gosh, doesn't it feel like Christmas was so far ago, so long ago? It's hard to believe that it was just last week. But anyway, we're here and I'm glad you're here. And I hope you had a great Christmas. I hope you had a great holiday week or season, really, from Thanksgiving on up. But now we're into the new year. So welcome. Welcome. Uh, hey, lots of people here. So hi to all of you. We'll be taking some questions. I see Ben was the first one here. 5:15 made a comment long before we even went live. So good to see you from when work is play. And then Chris says he's not going to be here tonight. Ross is here. Woodster 300 is here. Mikey and Bob and Phil and Dave and Linda. Welcome all. So what we're going to do tonight, we're just going to chat. I'm going to chat, and I'm going to count on you in the live chat to answer some questions that I might have. But if you're new to the live stream, if you're new to the channel, we come here pretty much every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we talk about outdoors type things, DIY projects, tractors, gardening, just general life in the country. That's what we like to talk about. If it is your first time here, please say hi in the live chat and say, hey, it's my first time here. And we'd like to welcome you. Also, let me know, how did you find the channel? Was it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? Because we're everywhere. And the live stream is just a fun thing we do on the side, a little different than the content. But again, we're here Monday nights, 7 p.m. So mark your calendar and come back and click that thumbs up while you're at it. Appreciate it. Let me talk about tonight's show. We're going to talk about, as the thumbnail mentioned, we're going to talk about firewood, because if you followed the Farmhouse Adventures episodes that we've been putting out, I finished the hearth for the wood stove and had the chimney liner installed just the other day. So that is done. The wood stove is in place. We lit it up to test it out, and the house has never been so warm for us. It just never was warm because the heat is limited, and we were using electric space heaters. It's amazing. It's amazing what this wood burner can do. It's kind of a medium-sized stove. It's rated for heating up to 2,000 square feet, and it kicks butt. Let me tell you, it really does. I didn't realize, folks said this is going to heat your whole house, and I thought, I don't see how that's going to happen, because how's it going to heat, around corners and whatnot? But uh, 2 rooms away, and there's a little kitchen pantry. It's warm in there. It's never been warm in there. So now, granted, we haven't had really cold weather. It's in the 40s now, which is cold enough. But we'll see as the winter progresses, and we should get some days. I'm sure we'll get some days that are below freezing, or yeah, I'm sure we will. So I thought, well, let's talk about firewood, because this is new to me. I have never had a wood burning stove or fireplace. It's something I always wanted to have, something Anne always wanted to have, and now we do. And all the things are true that people say, that they're dirty. Yep, we learned that right away. We've hardly used the thing, but we learned, yeah, it's dirty, and it's a dry heat. Yep, it's a dry heat. We've got the teapot on top so that there's steam coming out, but we like everything about it. We really do. I just said tonight, as I carried some firewood in, I said, I know these things are messy, but I love bringing the outdoors into the house. It just makes it cozy. There's something cozy about it. So anyway, I've got some questions for you because a lot of you are very experienced with Firewood, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and we'll talk about that. So that's what the night is going to be. We'll wrap up here by 8 p.m. and then and that'll do it. So pretty low key, but I really appreciate you being here and all your support throughout the past year, through the past years. The channel, the first upload for this channel was March 2020, which coincided with the pandemic, but it had nothing to do with it. I wasn't like I started the channel because of that. Um, so I it was just coincidence that I had my first upload March 2020. Uh, but that's when it started. So here we are into 2024. And, we formed this amazing community of folks, of content creators, content consumers. And it's just been amazing. And I can't thank you enough for your support. As I said in our year in review video, and I hope you watched that. Uh, that was a lot of fun to put together. And it really was just kind of a highlight of a lot of the videos that we did over the past year. And it's neat to look back and see that. And I sincerely thank you for watching that video, for watching others. I mean, that's how you support the channel, just by watching. Like, what better way is there to support something than just watch the content and click the like button and comment and all that stuff, interact with it. But your support just by watching it and doing those things really means a lot to us. And so anyway, check out that video if you haven't seen it, because I think it's pretty fun to watch. And I did one last year for 2022, and I thought that's really neat. So I want to do it again this year. This one I made a little bit shorter, tried to make it a little more fast paced, and it was fun to uh, to get together. So to put together. So please check that out. It's the latest video. It's titled I think the graphic says it's over, and then I don't know. Oh, what have we done? Something like that. Anyway, check that out if you can. Appreciate it. A lot of comments flying by. Again, there's Mark from Manisto Key is here, and Chris, Larry. Oh, let me just say this, because we may have some new people here. And if you're new to the channel, if not, it's just a reminder. But in the live chat, if you have a question, post it like this with the word question followed by your question. And that stands out for me. It stands out for other people in the live chat, because I don't always answer questions, but people in the live chat will have answers for you. So if you have a question, uh, format it that way, and then it stands out. So that's very helpful, and it's a good thing to know. So let's take a look at some comments now, and then we'll get into some questions for me, questions for you, and that would be what we're going to do. So let me look. All right. Yeah. So let's see. So my talking about firewood. Um, Talking about firewood, I have some specific questions for you, because I think it's pretty interesting. And again, there's a lot to learn about it. Um, Thank you, moderators, by the way. A lot to learn about it. So I'm looking for my questions. Here they are. So I have a few things I put together, and I'm just curious. First of all, do you burn firewood? Are you a wood burner? Do you have a wood stove or fireplace? A lot of people do, some people don't. Um, and again, we didn't for the longest time. We had at the other house, we had two propane fireplaces, and they were neat. You get the effect of a real flame, super clean. I had them set up on a thermostat, so in a couple rooms, it was the only heat in that room. So it was a digital thermostat on the wall. You set it for 65, and the gas fireplace comes on, and the flames up, and it was really cozy. Uh, and I liked that a lot. But I just felt like I was missing. There's something different about adding wood to a stove and getting real. I mean, it's real fire, but there's something different about it. But I'll tell you, those gas fireplaces are nice. They're hot. They're clean, uh, and they do a great job. So, just curious if you if you burn firewood, and then I'm curious now if you make your own firewood or process your own firewood. I guess you can't make firewood, but process your own firewood, or if you buy it by the cord. We're I'm cutting wood here in the woods, but the problem is it takes what, a year for wood to season and to dry completely. So I'm not finding that the wood is dry enough, or at least I don't feel like I should be burning it yet. I've been using the meter to test the moisture content. We want to talk about that too. So stepping back though, if you buy firewood, what's the cost of a cord of wood where you are? Um, I see this question posed, and it's, I guess it's different regionally. What I'm seeing in this area right now for mixed hardwood is about $250 per cord. Um, and I'm curious, is that high or is that low compared to other places? Seems like there's a lot available. You know, you look at Facebook Marketplace, a lot of people are selling firewood. Um, but anyway, I just ordered a cord because I thought I'm not going to be able to split enough wood for this season and have it dry enough. So I thought, let me just order a cord, and then I'll have that. It's already seasoned. I can go through that while I'm working on splitting wood for next season. So, but it's fun. So thank you, Larry. I see selling you sell a half cord for 180. All right, so that's 360 a cord. So maybe 250 is a pretty good price. I don't know. Now, I ordered this wood through, uh, not through a tree company, but the tree company that we had here at the house cutting down an oak tree. I reached out to him to see if he sells wood. He doesn't, but he recommended this other person. So I'm hoping it's a good recommendation. I hope the wood is good and relatively clean. I hope it's a good hardwood mix, and we'll see. Right? We'll see. Uh, Yeah, your productive recreation saying that sounds like greenwood. Now it's supposed to be seasoned. So I've got my moisture meter and I will see. But I'll be really bummed if if it's no drier than what I've cut here. So um yeah, Twin Brooks. One tip: if you load the wood stove in the dark, which I have done, make sure you don't miss the door handle when closing the door. Yeah, that's true. That this stove has a nice wooden door handle, which is really pretty. But just beyond that is the cast iron, and if you touch that, it's hot. I've got the temperature gauge, and the stove's been up to, I think 450 is like the high end that the surface has been, but um, that's how hot we've burned it. Again, we've got the tea kettle on top, just for adding humidity to the air, and that kettle, it sits up there and boils, which is really neat. So thank you, Margaret. It has an answer for the question. Seasoned oak is 240, mixed hardwood 220 a cord. That's a good price then. That's good. So it sounds like now here, David in New Hampshire, 350 for a seasoned cord. So maybe prices here are cheaper because I don't know why. Is it more abundant? Is there a lot more wood available? I don't know. So Bob's asking about the species. Well, that was going to be one of my questions. If you have a favorite species, but generally here it's you get a mix of oak and cherry, maybe some maple in there, which is medium hardwood, I think. I don't know. I'll ask the guy, but he said it's hardwood. So all right. So let me go with another question here. Let's see. White ash. Okay. What I was reading about is that American beech is apparently a really good wood to burn, and our woods is full of beech. Now they're not. It must be a slow growing tree because there's a lot out there, but it's not super big. There are some that are very big, but a lot of them are only I don't know, maybe like 6-inch trees. So they're not that big, but there are some bigger ones. But I'd like to process some of that beech and see what that's like. Oh, it's a beast to split. Thank you for that. Interesting. Even with a log splitter, because it's a nice straight looking, at least here, that grows nice and straight because the woods is thinned out enough. But I don't know. I haven't done any of it, so I don't know. Uh, 8-inch mag. Okay. So yeah, let me go back to, we did the cost of the cord of the wood, and my other question was moisture content. So from what I understand, you want to burn, like, what's the goal for moisture content? I'm getting readings of like 25. Some, if it's super fresh, like 30, 25%, 20. I think you want to be at like what, 15? Is that the high end of where you want to be? That's what I'm not sure about. Now I have a neat little moisture meter, and it basically beeps red saying high, medium, or low. It's not saying high. High. It says high, medium, low. So let's see some of those comments. Under 20%. Thank you. That's what we're seeing here, and that's what I've heard in the past. Um, I've heard other people. You look at some of these Facebook forums where they have like there's a wood burner forum, I think, and some people are like, burn it, throw it all in, it'll burn off. But I think the problem is you can throw damp wood in there, and of course it's going to burn off. But when you burn off the damp wood, you're creating steam. That moisture has to go somewhere. You're burning off that steam, goes into the chimney, mixes with the smoke, creates creosote, which is potentially which is flammable, causing a potential um, chimney fire. So I think that's the main reason you want to have dry wood, so you're not creating that combustible creosote. Think I'm right about that, but that's what I'm thinking of. Margaret's saying less than 20, or less than 20, less than 15 is great. Bob shoots for below 15, um, and Jack is saying the target is 15%. So I have burned some because I haven't had anything else here, and it's been a little higher than that. So I burned some. A couple pieces were over 20, but I was trying to keep it under 20. So um, that's what I thought. That's what I thought as far as moisture content goes. So that's good to know. I have another question now, then, and I was asking this before, but let's talk about this a little bit more. What is your favorite uh, variety um, of wood? I know oak is super common. It's a really dense hardwood. You can feel it when you pick it up. The pieces are really heavy. So that's mostly what I've been burning, because that's what I've been cutting up the that um, tree that fell over, which is very dead, very dead. Yeah. Uh, so that was a nice red oak. I think there was a white oak, but anyway, oak is really the only thing I've been burning. I think a little bit of walnut. I cut up some of that, but oak's been the one. But again, I talked about the beech is supposed to be a good, decent wood. I haven't tried any of that yet. I know we have some ash back there. I think ash might be good. Um, but let's see what you think. So, yeah, there's white. You're talking about that. Can't beat white ash, but you like a mix. All right. Um, okay. So this is different. Madrona is very desirable. Yep. I don't even know what that is. Never even heard of that. Um, birch, tamarack, jack pine are sawed off species there. Interesting. But thank you. Ash is excellent. Oak, ash, maple is mostly what Bob burns. Cut up some elm also. Yeah, maple though. Am I right in saying that maple is not considered a hardwood? I know it's decent for burning, but I guess it burns faster, maybe faster and hotter. Um, and the problem with that is you just go through more wood. And ash burns hot, according to Wilson Saw and Slab. Okay. So if it burns hot, does that mean it burns faster too? Because here's the other thing: is fill the stove up for the night and you want to get some decent sleep without the stove going out, like what is really a good wood that's going to burn long and hot enough without going out by the morning? Now, of course, the good thing is, I am now of the age where I have to get up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom. So, it's like you walk past the stove, let me throw a log on the fire. Um, so I guess that's not so much of a problem because a lot of you folks understand. A lot of you folks get up in the middle of the night. We know what that's like. So, but yeah, you folks are liking oak, and again, we have quite a bit out there, um, and I'm really impressed. I've been using the log splitter, and I've been cutting it up, and a good 18-inch round of oak, or anything for that matter. But it's amazing how much wood you get from that. So I'm excited to be really stocking up and getting a lot with that. And Bob's saying that white oak burns the longest. 12-hour reloads overnight. Oh, that's really nice. White oak burns the longest. Okay, good. All right. So that's interesting. And then the other thing is this is based on the stove, but what is the length of firewood that you burn? When I was looking at wood stoves, I went for one with, it says it'll accept up to an 18-inch piece of wood, which I thought, well, that's going to be good. Now that we have it, uh, it's not so much of a problem. I've been cutting all mine 16 inches. When I ordered the wood today, I asked the guy, and he said his are around 16 inches, maybe a little even smaller. So that's fine too. I'd be concerned about something too wide to get in there. Um, but some of the stoves will take up to what, a 22-inch piece, and I guess if you split your own wood, cut your own wood, and you have a stove that'll take a piece like that, you can basically size it for your needs. Now, obviously, if I bought a load of wood and it was 20 inches, I can't even put it in the stove. So, is there a standard? Is 16 inches the standard among folks who do process firewood? I wonder. I bet you I'll get an answer for that. By the way, in a little while, we're going to do, again, if you're new to the channel, we do this every week too, sticker giveaway. So we'll be doing that in just a little while. So hang around for that. See, I didn't do the pun, stick around. I've said that too many times. So, okay, David, thank you. Saying that you have a 22-inch stove, 20-inch for the air needed, an EPA stove. What does that mean? That you have a 22-inch stove, but you burn 20-inch logs, so you have air circulating around it. The stove that I got is that EPA rated stove. It has the catalyst. Maybe a lot of 'em, I don't think all of them have it now, but it has the little catalyst honeycomb blocks that sit on top, and it has a gauge on the side. When it reaches temperature, you engage the catalyst, and that's supposed to uh, do like a reburn, and have a cleaner burn, which is fine, which is good. It also comes with there's like a government rebate, 30% tax credit. So I'll find out how that works this year. I don't understand that completely, but the cost of the stove, the cost of installing it, you get a 30% tax credit on that. So that's good. We want to promote that kind of stuff, and it's nice to have that kind of incentive. And thank you for this comment. 16 inches is pretty standard. Small insert takes 16-inch. Yep. Uh, Scott burns 12 inches, splitting logs that are between 24 and 28 inches in diameter. Yeah, yeah, but 12 inches long. That's pretty short, right? A 12-inch. Uh, yeah, another pun. Stick around as we talk about the firewood. Not just stick around for stickers, but stick around as we talk about firewood. And there's a quote or a comment about hickory in a smoker, but do you burn hickory in a stove? I don't. I guess you can. Again, these forums that you go on, they basically say if it's flammable, burn it. Put any kind of wood in there whatsoever. So, and there's Gary. Good evening, Gary. Good to see you. Let me see if I have other questions here because this night's going to go pretty quick. But I appreciate all your comments and the fact that you have so much experience. 'Cause I know a lot of people have been burning wood and doing this for a long time. Question about hickory, or my question about hickory is high BTU. Don't have it there. Yeah, I don't even know what hickory looks like. That's another thing. Now that we have this wooded property, I'm learning what the different trees are. I've learned a lot based on the leaves, but now it's wintertime and the leaves are gone and a lot of the bark looks the same. So I'm sure I'll get more and more in tune and learn what they are. Certainly, I've gotten a lot better at picking out the oak. Again, the beech is the easiest because they don't really lose their leaves. I remember when we came here, we first walked the property. It was like last March, I think. Um, and we're like, why do all these certain trees have the dead leaves still on them? And it turns out they're the beech trees, and the leaves just don't fall off. Um, I guess until the new ones come on. So when you walk out there, you see all these pretty beech trees with the yellowish leaves that are still attached. So I can pick those out as well, and they do have a real nice smooth bark as well. So I'm learning. I'm learning about trees, which is very interesting. It's funny. Um, when I think I've shared with you before that I did not like school. Um, and it's sad to say I was not a good student because I think I'm a good student for things I'm interested in, but did not like school. And the things that you remember or take away from school are, for me, the hands on things. Forget a lot of what I learned about, I don't know, math and things like that. But when I was in, I think, fourth grade or something, maybe fifth grade, I had to do a leaf project. It wasn't science fair, but I had to do a project, a leaf collection project. I had to do a bug collection project in high school, but this was like fourth grade. And I walked around with my Uncle Paul, little old man, and collected leaves. And he taught me what the different leaves were. And of course, my teacher taught me as well too. And all these years later, that's one of the things that stuck with me from school. Like a lot of times you learn things and you're like, when am I ever going to use this? But the leaves stuck with me, like the maple leaves with the pointy stars. They look like a pointy star. I remember that. And is it the tulip that has a leaf that kind of looks like a mitten? But like that's interesting. And now it's actually valuable. It's something that I actually use today. So let's teach our kids valuable things that they'll use in life. Because there are a lot of things that are long gone that I never used, but it's good to be introduced to different things. Yes, David, poison ivy leaves. I learned that one very well, and that wasn't part of my leaf collection. Thank goodness. Would have been funny to hand that to the teacher, like, "Here's my leaf collection. Here's poison ivy." Uh, but yeah, that was uh, that was a good lesson. So we talked about the favorite variety of firewood. We talked about the length of firewood, the cost of a cord, uh, the moisture content. Yes, I spelled that wrong. I had that up there the whole time, spelled wrong. But what else is there to talk about firewood? Um, let me read this question. Yes, David has a question. And yes, David, are you both ready to deal with burning, including the added filth from hauling the wood in and the ash from cleaning the wood stove? Like I said, we've learned this in just a couple days, but Ann and I are both on board. We're like, yeah, this is pretty messy, isn't it? Um, and it's dustier. You know, sweeping the ash. I cleaned out the stove this morning, um, just to see, what the ash buildup was inside, and it's basically it burns down to a fine dust. So even if you try to carefully sweep it out and then you carefully dump it in the ash can, it still kind of floats up, and there was like this layer of dust on top of the black stove, and like, yeah, this is pretty messy. Uh, but yes, we are both on board and ready to deal with that. Because, like I said earlier, it's something special about bringing something from the outdoors inside your house. It kind of connects you more, I think, connects you more with nature. So, there's a great question from Phil. It's how often do you clean out your stovepipes? Now, I was told that the chimney should be cleaned seasonally, just once a year. If you burn it frequently, burn it hot, there shouldn't be much of a buildup. Now, with this liner, this stainless steel liner that we put in, um, I was even told that you might even have a small chimney fire once in a while, and you wouldn't even know it. It'll just kind of burn off. Um, I don't know, but I was told just once a year, every season. And Bob is saying that exact thing, once a year before the burn. Yeah, so that's a good thing. Would you do it right before you start, or would you do it at the end of the season when everything's fresh on there? Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter at all. Uh, hmm. Twin Brooks is saying after 23 years of burning wood, finally smartened up and bought a shop vac to vacuum dust and dirt. I was thinking of that. They make small shop vacs. They advertise little metal vacuums specifically for uh, wood stoves and ash. They have like double filters on them. I was thinking that might be a good idea to get one of these small canister vacuums and just use it for cleaning up. Might be a good idea. I was reading some reviews online, and one of them said that it worked well, but you just use it a couple times, and the filter blocks up, and you lose suction, which makes sense because these are super fine particles. So, uh, might be good to look for a really good ash vacuum, but a small one. Not maybe like a 3 gallon guy. You don't want to have this big old vacuum just for a few ashes. So, don't know, but good point. And a good vacuum would do a good job. And it's talking about dirty stoves. There's a comment from Productive Recreation. Stoves are dirty. Your whole house will be dustier. We have forced air heat and a filter it a little that way. Yeah, we don't have that, but I've heard that from folks that if you have a traditional forced hot air heat system in your house, that if you have a wood stove, you could just run your air handler without the heat on, and that not only circulates the air through all the rooms nicely, but it also has a built-in filter, so that way you can kind of filter the dust out as well. Now, forced hot air heat also is supposed to be pretty dusty, from what I hear. We have at the other house, we had hot water baseboard heat. Just lucky to have that. That's pretty neat. Whatever's going on in the background there with the fireworks, but thank you. Uh, so the baseboard heat was really nice, and we were lucky to have that because that's just what the house was built with. In this house, a couple of the rooms have radiant floor heat because they're on a concrete slab, really nice. And then some of the other rooms have the hot water baseboard heat, also really nice, but wasn't quite warm enough because it needed some work, and we decided we're going to go with the wood stove anyway. So, but yeah, it would be nice and to have the air handler with the hot air heat, because then you could circulate the air that way and perhaps collect some of the dust. Bill's saying get a steel vacuum. Oh, I didn't know that steel made vacuums. I'm sure they're good though. Uh, yep. Okay. So it is 7:35. We're past the halfway mark. So think more about the wood stove question and firewood and all that. But why don't we do a sticker giveaway? Why don't we do that? This would be the time, don't you think? I think so. Of course. Let me just bring this up. So this is the sticker giveaway. If you're new to the channel, new to the live stream, what we do is have you enter a word in the live chat exactly the way that I'm going to show it to you. And then the amazing computer will pick the winner tonight, and we'll know who the winner is. So anybody can enter unless you already have won stickers in the past. We would ask you to not enter and let someone win the stickers who has not yet had the opportunity. So that's the way this works. So let me pull up the word and you'll enter it in the live chat. It's just that easy. So tonight's word, very simply, is hashtag 2024. Make sure you don't put a space in there. Just type in hashtag 2024 and we'll start collecting entries. Like, for instance, all right. See? Like Chris did, hashtag 2024. Like Kathy did, hashtag 2024. And John's being funny because he already won, so he's put hashtag 2023. Anyway, that's all you have to do. Like Scott, hashtag 2024. Hey, nice Silverado there, Scott. It's just like the one that we wrecked. All right. So, by the way, if you're just joining us, type in hashtag 2024 in the live chat for a chance to win these 3 stickers or 3 identical to this, if you haven't yet won. All right. We'll wrap this up here in just a second. Let's let the music play out. And then we'll choose a winner. All right. Only 17 entries? That's because so many people have won stickers. We have to start doing some different giveaways so that everybody can have a chance to win something new. I should design some new stickers. I think I need to work on that for 2024. But let's do it. You'll see my mouse floating around there. Here we go. And draw. Draw. Oh, it's Phil from Peterson Farms in Nashville. Phil, you never won before? That's amazing. Well, Phil, I need you to email me. Wait. Let me bring this up, Phil. Where's my email? Here it is. Contact mcgtv@gmail.com. Send me your mailing address, and we will send these stickers out to you. That's what we need to do. Congratulations for that. Let's remove that. And perfect. Excellent. Thank you for that, John. Super sticker. That's really generous. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And that's really kind. So thank you. Yes, congratulations all. Let me lose that. See what other comments or questions we have about the wood stove. Do people still put in fireplaces? We were talking about this the other night, Ann and I. that a fireplace seems so inefficient compared to a wood stove. Um, I know a wood stove still has a lot of it still goes up the chimney, but at least the wood stove, you have this steel or cast iron box. Ours is cast iron and it has soapstone on the inside. So the heat has to penetrate the soapstone and then the cast iron. But the beauty of that is that it radiates really well and for a long time. Where a fireplace, you're getting the heat from the fire, but then that's it. So a lot of it is up the chimney, and it seems wasteful. Um, but I wonder, do people still not use fireplaces, but are they building them in houses today, or they always use stoves? I guess new houses barely even have actual wood burning fireplaces for the most part, or people are all newer houses probably go with gas logs and things like that. My thought there, but so David has a question. You notice this on the video about the old kitchen door. We moved the door. It was on the left side of the stove. We filled that in, cut an opening on the right side of the stove. So the door is now going to be on the right side of the stove. It's a bigger door. It was just a little 30-inch opening. Now it's like a 42-inch opening. And yes, where the old door was, I'm going to frame out a window opening, and we want to put like an old farmhouse window in there, but I'd like to put it on a hinge so I can swing it open and let heat blow through there into the kitchen area. Because right now the wall's open completely because we haven't put drywall up yet, and the heat works its way in there beautifully. So that is the plan. I'm looking for I framed it out to be 24 by 24 finish size. So the rough opening is like 25 and a half by 25 and a half. And I'd like to find a 24 by 24 old window with 4 pieces of glass. That's pretty small, but that's what I'm looking for. 24 by 24 with 4 panes of glass in it. Um, that would be cool. So I'm checking marketplace and online and whatnot. But if you have a 24 by 24 window, old farmhouse window, let me know. Send me an email at contactmcgtv@gmail.com, and perhaps I could buy that from you. Uh, Thank you for the comment here. Rarely see masonry chimneys in new houses now. Fireplaces are for looks only, not efficient heat. In fact, a great way to lose heat. Draft, draft, draft. Heat goes up. Yeah, that's the thing. You have a big hole basically, and it's literally designed to suck the heat out. So if you're not burning a fire, your heat's going right up. I know they have dampers, which helps, uh, but and you're right about masonry. New houses that do have any kind of uh, fireplace or wood burning stove, they use those metal double or triple lined metal chimneys, and they a lot of times they wrap them in just the siding that matches the house, and it just doesn't look like a chimney. But it probably makes sense. A masonry chimney is very expensive. It's a lot of work. It's heavy. If you can get away with the other, maybe it's just more efficient. So good point, John, about newer houses usually have a gas burning fireplace because of insurance. That is true. And because of insurance, well, not only because of insurance, but we wanted to do this stove right. There are certain things you can do in a house. Some people might not pull permits for things, but I wanted to do this on the up and up. So this has been inspected um, and looked at by a professional, and that way I can literally sleep well at night knowing that it's safe to leave that stove burning overnight, or if we leave the house, it's safe, it's sealed, and should be really of little concern whatsoever. And insurance would feel good about that too, right? So I don't know if I have to call the insurance company and let them know that we have a wood stove now. Maybe I do. Um, Thanks, Mark. Good point about the restore. I feel like the habitat restore in our area. I feel like I read one time they don't take windows, or so. I don't know why that would be though. There was something they didn't take, and I thought that's kind of odd. But maybe they get too many like doors or windows. I don't know, but it's a good point. And we have one not far away, so that would be a good idea to check them out. Appreciate that. And oh yeah, I you're commenting here about a Stafford window in New Hampshire could make whatever you want. Um, that's true. I even thought about making a window myself. Really, like doesn't have to be perfect, but just trim with glass. I can put a little crossbar on it. And really could make it myself. So maybe do that. Uh, yep. All right. Let's see what other questions or comments we have here. Boy, I really appreciate it. Like you guys always teach me so much. I learn so much from these comments, and I often say I'm merely the facilitator here. You guys really, you're the ones who know so much. Um, listen, David, don't feel bad. He's saying here, I must admit, due to my age, my old wood stove was sold, replaced with a gas fireplace. I miss the radiant warmth, but do love the convenience, right? It's a nice alternative. These gas fireplaces, again, they're warm, they're they're cozy, they're pretty, um, they're nice. They're really nice, and nothing wrong with that for sure. A lot of people have gone to the pellet stove, and pellet stove is like sort of an in between. It's kind of the convenience of gas, a little not as convenient, but certainly cleaner than wood. Um, my nephew texted me the other day. He loaded up his pellet stove, and I think for 3 days he had it going, where it just was dropping pellets and didn't have to touch it for 3 days. That's pretty impressive. I was surprised how often we have to put logs in this stove, and it's not even cold yet. But if we want to keep it going, um, this will be another great question for you: is how much do you go through? Uh, I'm kind of estimating like 1 log per hour. Now, these are not giant logs; they're probably weigh, I don't know, 10 pounds. So I've been splitting them so they're about 6 inches, around thereabout, and again 16 inches wide. But I want to make them manageable. Um, But basically, you throw 3 logs in, you're good for 3 hours. So a log per hour, that's 24 per day. That's a lot more than I anticipated. And I sort of felt like we were going to load the stove and it would be good for like 8 hours. And that's not the case. It's good for maybe 3 hours. So, and we can, again, at night, we pack it 3, maybe squeeze 4 in there, and then turn the damper underneath, the airflow down almost off, and that way it just kind of smolders and you can get longer time out of it. But basically 1 log per hour is about what we're averaging. I started writing down every time we load the stove. We write down what time it is and how many we put in. So so Kathy, this is interesting. Thank you for mentioning that. Uh, Using a heat powered stove fan that sits on top pushes heat into the room. I've been looking at those on Amazon, on the internet, and I don't understand. Like some of the reviews say it's kind of a novelty that the heat makes the fan turn. I thought I saw a wire. Like, is there some kind of conductor that turns the heat into electricity, like a like a thermocoupler does for a propane stove? Like, is it a little electric fan, or is it just based on airflow that the heat rises and turns the blades? Anyway, I was reading some comments, and some folks say, yeah, they're great. Other folks said, they're kind of a novelty that you really don't push that much air. Um, and I know there's the ones with I think it's a little Stirling engine fan that has like a little piston in it, and that one is genuinely working from the heat. Um, but I don't. Do they push air? You're saying it does, so that's interesting. But it looks fun. It looks interesting to see a little fan that's running without any power or electricity. Um, yeah, so that's interesting. Nisto key burns about 10 bush cords a year. Yeah, so that's a lot. That seems like an awful lot. Oh, but you're up there where it's cold. Yeah, that makes sense. There we go. And thank you for that. Not far off. Load about 10 pieces for 11 to 12 hours. Yeah, it's one piece per hour, right? I'll have to figure out how many pieces now are in a cord. That's what when I get my firewood delivery this week, I'll count how many pieces are in a cord. I don't think I will. How many pieces are in a cord? What do you think? Because I'll need to know. If I'm cutting my own wood and haven't really stacked it to measure it, I won't know what I go through cord wise. If you buy wood, then like, yeah, I ordered 2 cords of wood this year. I burned 2 cords, whatever. But if you're making it yourself and you're not measuring it, you wouldn't know. So I need to know. I need to know that. I'll figure that out. So productive recreation, about 5 cords per season. Bob Purrs, about 8 cords. Of course, that's going to be, again, uh, geographical. Some of you are up in the northern states or up in Canada, and that's going to be different than here in the Northeast. We used to have really cold winters, cold, long winters. They've gotten milder and milder, and this week is in the upper 40s. Like today, it was 46 degrees today, but it was sunny, and felt really nice outside. Uh, I remember when I was a boy, we had lots of snow and it was cold. But yeah, it doesn't mean we're not going to get a cold snap and possibly snow. That can happen, but it certainly has gotten milder. No doubt about that. So, yeah, good point, John. How many pieces are in a cord? How many depends how big the pieces are, of course. Of course it does. All right. So, and David Martin at one time converted to coal. Now I know the stove we have, you can't burn anything but wood in it. There are stoves that burn dual media, coal or wood. But I think coal is a very specific stove. Uh, yeah, your stove had a hopper, would easily burn for 12 hours. Coal is neat because it just, I've never burned it, but I've seen it and it just kind of smolders and puts out lots of heat. But I don't know how popular they are. I don't hear of too many people with coal stoves. I don't know about that. Another good point. House size and insulation are big factors. This is an old house. It's got some modern insulation where they remodeled it in the 80s. Second floor here, I don't think was touched, so I don't know there's any insulation in these walls. There might not be. The windows, a lot of the windows have been replaced. They're in good shape. Some of the windows have not, and you can feel air coming through. So definitely not sealed up like a newer house would be. So, but that's kind of good because the stove's getting fresh air that way, right? I think so. All right, excellent. Good information and good chats tonight. I appreciate it. I really do. Again, I learned so much. I learned so much. So, well, look, it's 2024, and who knows what's the new year's going to hold. It's amazing. Again, look at my video that I just put out. It's amazing to look back and I think, gosh, when that year started, 2023 started, we had no idea where it was going. We sort of had some plans. We had some, this farm was at that point we knew it was a possibility, but we didn't really know. It was just like we were thinking about, could that happen? We had no idea where the year was going to go, and it turned out to be a really exciting, great year. I'm excited for this year. I hope this one has some good surprises as well. We only want good surprises, right? So I hope that your year, this is day one. I hope it's off to a good start. But again, peace, health, prosperity. Was that it? Peace, health, joy. Joy is very important. I think if you have joy, then everything else falls into place. Uh, so I hope you have joy, peace, health, and prosperity. So happy 2024. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the conversation. Come back next week. I don't know what we'll talk about. We'll figure something out for next week. And that'll be Monday, the 7th, 8th, whatever day that is. Doesn't matter. It's next Monday, whatever it is, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next time.